What's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is going to be part 2 of putting the new rear end in. If you haven't seen part number 1, that'll be right up here. And you should probably watch that one first. That's how I take the whole rear end out. And now we're going to be putting everything on the new rear end and putting it back in part 2. So I'm going to start with these bolts right here. They have these little ribs on them. So you put those in and then you tighten them down so the ribs go and clamp into the hole. So I already started one right here. So as you can see, the threads don't go all the way down to the bottom, so I'm using this nut as a spacer so I can get it flush on the bottom. All right, so here you see I already got this one in. I just finished and got all of these in, but there's a bunch of metal shavings in there from doing all that. So I'm going to take all this bubble wrap off and blow all that stuff off so it's not in there when we put the rear end in. And after that, I'm going to put the whole pumpkin into the housing. So I'm about to put it in. You want to make sure it goes in the right way because I think you could put it upside down. So I just have the old one right here. So these things are facing downward, and on this they're facing downward basically. And then so from there I'm gonna put this one the same as like the yoke is on the bottom. I got it in, and now I'm gonna put the nuts on, and you want to look up the torque for yours. I don't know if they're all the same or not, but I'm gonna look at the torque for a forward 9-inch, and then I'm gonna torque them down. Now I'm going to put this breather on. Alright, so we just got the seals in. My dad helped me with this side, and I torqued these down to 35 foot-pounds. I went in a star pattern, and then I re-put this breather in with some sealant on it. And now we have everything done with the new one. Just need to get the axles in. So I'm gonna start taking the backing plate off of this one. I took this side off already. It's just 4 nuts on here on the back of these, and you can use this thing right here. See the nut right there? You can use a socket and impact to take those out. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and clean these up because they're pretty dirty and a lot of sludge on them. So I'm going to wire brush them, and then I'm going to power wash them off. I just finished pressure washing them, and I put these plugs in there so I don't get water in the brake system. And now I'm gonna put, you want to make sure that the brake line hole is facing in the direction, like facing forward, because both the backing plates are different. So now I'm gonna put the backing plate on, and then I'm gonna slide the axle in. Alright, so I just figured out that it's like a different bolt pattern, the backing plate, so the holes don't line up. So I'm just gonna have to Dremel this part out right here. I'm just gonna use this plate right here. It fits the other one. It's just like an oval shape, so I'm just gonna copy that onto this one and use a die grinder and cut that out. It's hitting like right here. I won't let the holes line up. So I'm just gonna grind this down and smooth to where it's flat with this. I had to grind some more on these holes, but it finally fits on there flat and all the bolts fit through. Alright, so I just figured out that these brakes aren't gonna work on this rear end. I did a lot of work, but they aren't gonna work because I bought a big bearing rear end with the 31 spline, and the old one is 28 spline, which means small bearing. And so basically means that the brake plate won't fit over the big bearings. I am actually going to grind out the brake plate to where it fits over the big bearing, but I'm gonna go ahead and put everything together in the car first. Alright, I just grinded it out and now it fits through. So now I'm going to get the leaf springs off, and then I'm gonna wire brush all the leaf springs and the whole rear end and all that, and I'm gonna paint that. To take off the leaf springs, it's just these 2 U-bolts right here and 4 nuts on the bottom of those, so I'm gonna take both leaf springs off now. I got the leaf springs off now, and now I'm gonna wire brush everything and wipe it all down with the leaf springs too. And I'm not gonna put them on yet because I'm gonna paint them separately. Everything just finished drying, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put the leaf springs on, and we're gonna go ahead and get the rear end under the car. The U-bolts for the leaf springs don't fit on correctly. I grinded them out some, but I thought they might work, but the plan is to buy some new ones. I already bought them, but they come in tomorrow, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the leaf springs on the car without the rear end, and then I'm gonna get some help and lift the rear end through the leaf springs. I got all the U-bolts bolted on now, and the shocks are both bolted on. So now I'm gonna take this tape off on both sides, and I'm gonna put both the axles in now. Alright, so we're just gonna get a little bit of gear oil and put some on our finger and just lube up the seal. I finally just tried to do it on the other side, and I just noticed that the axles are different sizes. So this side goes on the left side for me, and then this one goes on the right side. Some oil on the seal. Got the right axle this time. Spin it. There we go. Loosen the brake plate up some, and seems to be sliding in now. I am going to switch the yokes over because the new one is a little bit smaller, and I'd have to change the U-joint. Alright, so the camera died, and I think the last spot I was at is putting the axles in. So as you can see, I already finished everything up. I torqued the pinion nut to 160 pounds, and then I went ahead and I had to grind out the brake drum too to fit over the hub, and then I put these wheels on, and that was basically it. I did not put the other side brakes on because the one line was clipped. Alright, so I put a quart of Lucas in there, and then I got 85 W140. I put like a quart and a half of that in there, and I got some limited slip additive I put in there also. It is actually whining a little bit, but we called the people that we bought it from, and they said that it will most likely go away. And if you'd like this rear end, then I'll put the link in the description for the housing and the axles, and also the pumpkin part. This is gonna be the end of this video because there is a break-in period on this. It's like 500 miles for, like, you can't go over 60 miles an hour and like no high torque. So I'm gonna go ahead and drive it some, and then I'll post an update video. But that's gonna be the end of this video. If you like this car, then subscribe to my channel and get that bell on so you get notifications whenever I post a video. And also, if you enjoyed this video, then hit that like button.